My name is Marion Janssen, as Gina already said. I'm the Chief Economist of the International Trade Center, and I look forward to the discussion today because I hope it will give us the opportunity to discuss some of the findings of our SME Competitiveness Outlook that we launched at the beginning of the month in Geneva, and that focuses on the region. Wherever you come from, wherever you work, wherever you are active, your neighboring countries, your region, is likely to have been the first destination of exports for small and medium-sized enterprises in your region. So the dynamism of trade in your region, the activity of regional value chains will be key to determining whether your region can be a door to global trade. This year's SME Competitiveness Outlook provides tailored advice to policymakers, to business, and to trade and investment support institutions on how to make your region being a door to global trade. For trade and investment support institutions, you will notably find in the report information on how to build up regional networks of trade and investment support institutions. For business, there is a specific report, an SME guide to value chains in this document. And for policymakers, you will find two particular things of interest. You will find information on how to benchmark your SMEs against competitors in the same value chain in which you are active. And you will find advice on how to design regional integration agreements. Now, allow me to delve a bit more deeply into that last point. We argue in this report strongly in favor of deep regional integration, of deep integration in general. And we do this because we find that this is good not only for trade and growth, it is good for inclusiveness. Why is this the case? We find that adding a policy area to your trade agreements, for instance, adding investment in top of the trade agreement, you will create the possibility for more value chain activity in your country. Value chain activity goes up by 2.5%. That's good for business. That's good for big business, but not only for big business. In fact, we find that those who benefit most are small companies. We find that the gap in competitiveness between small enterprises and large enterprises goes down by 1.25%. That's good for inclusiveness. I mentioned investment, but we mentioned all the policies in the report. We actually make the point policymakers should think more like a supply chain manager and think of his or her rationale. Supply chain managers look at trade, investment, taxation as one package. Policymakers tend to deal with these things in different ministries, separately. The more coherent your policies are, the better for value chain activity, the better for SMEs. Infrastructure is another example. We argue in the report that infrastructure should not just come as an afterthought to trade policy. These things should be thought about in parallel. If you want to target inclusiveness more explicitly, consider bringing references to gender equality to SMEs directly into your trade agreements. Many countries already do this. We show in the report that references to these two areas has tripled between the second half of the 90s and the last 5 years. Now, the report goes further than that in giving very detailed information on what is going on in regional trade currently and what you can do in whatever your position you have in order to help firms in your country to take advantage of this. We describe in the report what regional value chain trade looks like currently, and this is the picture you see up there. Value chain trade very much evolves around 3 hubs. One hub around the United States, one hub in Asia around China, Japan, and South Korea, and one hub, a big one, around the European Union, with Germany playing a key role there as a headquarter economy. these are figures that are more and more known. It's also increasingly known, and we heard this morning, that regional value chain activity is underdeveloped in Africa and also actually in South America. This is interesting, but it doesn't help us to do something. It doesn't help us to understand what we can do in order to improve the position of our countries, of our companies in this picture. Now that's where ITC's SME competitiveness benchmarking comes in. It provides you with a tool to understand what is determining, what is driving where you are currently positioned within a value chain. And this allows us then also to assess what may happen next, where may changes occur. Now, we emphasize in the report 5 countries or regions where we expect different things to happen, maybe exciting things to happen in the coming years. In the Americas, we point at Colombia as a possible country for playing an increased role if regional value chain activity is going to develop there, because of its high level of competitiveness and its geographical position. In Africa, we point out that there are 2 poles of competitiveness, one in the north around Tunisia and Morocco, one in the south around South Africa. Unfortunately, these 2 poles are disconnected. Ongoing infrastructure projects may change this. If the region manages to connect these poles, new dynamics may arise. Going to Asia, a lot of activity there, China having been a big player in value chain in the recent past, to a large extent as a supplier to value chains, but moving now increasingly to becoming a headquarter economy. We see more of this happening in the near future. Same thing in Central Europe, where a number of countries are very successful suppliers to regional value chains, but have the potential to become headquarters in the near future. Hungary is one of these countries. And we as ITC are very pleased and very proud to have worked with the Hungarian National Trading House on promoting SME competitiveness in Hungary, in the country that is hosting this year's WEDEF. We have supported the National Trading House in collecting information on SME competitiveness in 3 key sectors of the country: agro and food processing, electronics, and ICT. And this has been done with the view of giving the National Trading House tools to better serve the needs of its SMEs to become successful exporters. Now, if you want to understand more, know more about what is happening in Hungary in order for SMEs to take better advantage of the ongoing challenges in the trade-off world, download this report. It is online as of now, but also go to the website, download our flagship publication, and listen to this panel if you want to understand where your companies, where your country is standing for the next generation, for the next moves of regional trade routes. I thank you very much.